Representative Speier, you've spent so much time working on these issues in the military, and we know there that when women, and it's not only women, but largely women, when women come forward, they're often not given the protection that they need and ask for. How has your work in the military informed your work on domestic violence elsewhere?
Well, I will tell you, not only is it the issue of sexual assault in the military, where some 20,000 service members are sexually assaulted a year, more women than men, but a very large number of men as well, that so few come forward because the system for so long has been rigged. And so less than 6,000 would report, and of those, maybe 500 would go to a court martial, and then less than 150 would actually serve time in the brig. So that was initially my effort. But then we started talking to domestic violence shelters near bases and found out that the way the military was handling domestic violence was really abominable. They would send the violator to cool off for a couple of days in the barracks before they returned home. I was at one base where it wasn't until they were able to get an ultrasound machine that could detect bruising under the skin that many of these cases had the clarity they deserved. Because when you're being strangled, sometimes there aren't bruises that you will see visibly on the skin, but with the right kind of ultrasound, it can be identified. And the numbers went way up once they were able to employ that particular equipment. So the military is a microcosm of our country, our ethos, our values, and frankly, our morality. And as Debbie mentioned, the Violence Against Women Act hasn't been reauthorized for over 900 days, when it used to be a bipartisan measure supported by both Republicans and Democrats. Then Senator Biden was the author of it, and it got renewed every 5 or 6 years. It's been held up now by the National Rifle Association because of the provision that Debbie mentioned about not wanting to have those who have been convicted of domestic violence from owning a gun again. So this becomes an issue that is far bigger than just violence against women, in that it has the overlay of very powerful organizations that have a lot of clout with some of our colleagues on the other side of the aisle.
Well, I have a follow-up question. We're talking about these incredibly troubling historic processes that keep on and that you're both wrestling to overcome. But Representative Speier, there's also the issue of some more modern things like revenge porn, and I know you've taken action against that. Could you talk to us a little bit about how prevalent it is and what you're doing to try to stop this form of terror?
So it is, in this age of technology and social media, an opportunity for people to do harm to what was at one point an intimate partner. So the SHIELD Act, which I authored, which took 5 years in the making, has passed the House and is now in the Senate. And it has the power really to create criminal conduct out of those who would take intimate photographs and, without the consent of the person who was photographed, share them online. And once they're shared online, no matter how many times you take them off, they will reappear. And I can't tell you the number of witnesses who have testified on that legislation, whose lives have been destroyed, whose careers have been destroyed because these photographs keep cropping up. We also saw that in the military when Marines United was going on, and we had soldiers who were taking pictures of other Marines and then posting them online on a private website. And it is conduct that needs to be criminally addressed, and hopefully the Senate will eventually take up this legislation.